where
Yeah.
like I would get the notification on the app, like, yo, your payment process was your payment,
Oh yeah. There you go.
process. I was like, the fuck, bro, making me look like a broke boy and shit. I was
And they be
like,
calling you, right, nonstop.
yeah, bro, they be calling me too, and they're like, yo, your shit didn't process. I was like, yeah, I saw that. What's up? Like, and then they're like, all right, no, I could take it for you again. Like, take the card on the phone, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, bro, it's kind of sketch, but whatever.
But
And
whatever.
yeah, and eventually, like, I did that like 2 times. Like, it happened 2 months in a row. And then I moved from North Miami, and I kind of
Yeah.
thought, like, damn, let me just see. Like, I'm not even gonna cancel. Like, my payment is literally not processing.
Wow.
And sure enough, that's when they start calling me every day. They're like, yo, your
Yep.
shit's not processing. Yeah, I was like, bro, you boys are crazy.
So what happens is, bro, they have people who just call these people, these type of cards that whatever don't go through for whatever the case is, and they get like $5 for every clear up.
Damn.
So that's why they're so aggressive.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense.
They make like
And
$5
that
every
is a
clear
big
up.
club too. So
Yeah, bro. But think about it. You could, if you're doing those calls, you could call people from all over the U.S. because LA Fitness has like 800 gyms.
oh shit.
Yeah.
Damn, that's actually crazy. That's pretty dope. Well, whatever dude was calling me, he needed some more training, bro. His ass was like,
Oh yeah.
like he didn't give a
Yeah.
shit.
Some
He was
people are
like,
bad, dude.
yo, this
By the way,
fool.
I started recording. Okay.
Oh, okay, perfect.
But we'll get into it in a little bit, and then I'll edit a little bit. And before I finish or before I put it out, I always send you a copy just to make sure you're cool with everything. If you need me to
Cool,
take
bro.
anything or adjust anything, just let me know. I'll do it. I'll adjust it, and then I'll put it live. Okay.
Yeah, you're the man, bro. Yeah, I mean, you lead. Whatever. I saw your the joint you did with Merrick.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
That
that
was a
was
long time ago. That was
actually.
fun. This guy brought his tequila and shit.
Yeah, bro. He's the
That was
man. He
fun.
always had like all these little, things that
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
he's very diversified. He's dope,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
Very
bro. We're
diversified.
literally at the office at Keller Williams. So I didn't finish telling you the story. So I quit LA Fitness. I started doing this wholesaling. Right, I did it for about 6 7 months, and I did well, bro. Like if
Mhm.
I was only receiving 10% of whatever commission they made,
Damn.
and in like 3 months I was able to make like 3 grand. So they made like 30 grand off. Well, not all. I didn't
Off
do
of what
everything,
you
of
did,
course,
yeah.
but a huge part of what they did, I was a part of it. And I was only getting 10%, and rightfully so. I was new. I was young, like whatever. So then I went back to LA Fitness, but as a trainer. So before I was a manager, which is like you have to be there like 9 a.m. to 1, and then you have a split shift like 4 to 8, 9 p.m.
Mhm.
Right, Monday through Friday and even Saturday. So when you're a manager, you make good money, bro. People don't know this, but people make a lot of money at LA Fitness. Like you're looking at like 40 to 100 grand a year
Damn,
as
that's
a
a big
manager.
range though.
As a manager, but you're in there, you're hustling, you're selling, like you're pitching, like it's not easy, but it's rewarding,
Yeah,
right?
you gotta be one of those papi chulo managers that's like sizing everybody up.
You just gotta be like, hey, you gonna do it or not? You gonna get in shape or not? What's it going? No, I'm kidding. But so whatever, I did that, and I learned a lot, bro. So much about sales, so much about working with people, so much about like just business, actually in general, how to run something, like how to hire somebody, how to train and develop somebody to do what you do while you're not there. How to multiply yourself, which is probably the biggest thing that I got from it. Like
Hmm.
I kind of learned how to teach people something that could replace me. And when you could do that, you could scale a business.
Yeah, that's crazy. You just
Yeah.
said that. That's a extremely valuable skill, man. I
Yeah.
always think about how challenging that is. Like, how could you ever trust somebody to
Yeah.
like do what you do? Like,
And a lot of business people have that issue where they don't want to give up that control and they want to do everything. They want to be a part of everything. So then they don't grow as much as they could.
mm,
That's very common too. So if you ever seen like a mom and pop that's good at what they do, they have good service or good products, but they always stay small, most likely it's because of that, you know?
yeah, trust issues,
Yeah.
essentially.
But like it's crazy because like you see like Steve Jobs, he got kicked out of his own company eventually, you know? So stuff like that
Yeah,
can happen once you get too big, like it becomes its
plot
own
twist.
monster. Yeah. So whatever. I went back to training, but as a personal trainer. So this time I
Mhm.
actually got certified. I went in as a trainer, and as a trainer, you could control your time, which is why I loved it so much. Because my plan was to get my real estate license, right?
Okay.
Do both for a bit, and then eventually transition to real estate full time, right? So I did that, and I was doing real estate, and then I love real estate. It's it's great to have. It's great to know what to do. It's great to know what's going on, and great to be able to kind of forecast what could happen because you're in the industry. But real estate isn't something that's fun, right? When I was working at a gym, bro, it didn't even feel like work. It felt like I was cheating the system. Like I was getting paid to like, train people, and training for me is something like, it's like you, bro. If someone were to pay you like $50 an hour to do your music, you're gonna be like, why is this a joke? Like,
Yeah,
where's Ashton Kutcher? So I went back to training, and that's why now I'm focusing on building this online platform, especially with everything going on. I have a whole bunch of time on my hands, and it's something that I always wanted to get into, and I just never did. And now I got the opportunity. So now I'm still doing real estate. I'm still doing transactions, and I'm also focused on building this online platform, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, man. Well said. I mean, I think in general, like when something goes up, something else comes down, and vice versa,
Exactly.
So it's like right now, although a lot of industries are suffering, there is a lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm glad you're taking advantage of that, bro. I've always seen you on Instagram kind of popping off with the fitness thing. Like, I don't know, I assume you were pretty deep involved in it, but yeah, I think that's the way to go, bro. Just
Yeah.
reaching people. Do you have a website, or are you working on that, or?
I'm working on the website right now, but I do
Okay.
have an app.
Oh shit. All
So
right.
it
You
so
did
it
you
make
did the more important one first. That's
exactly
all.
exactly
You
exactly.
you hired a developer or something to get it done for
No,
you?
it's just one that I bought. You
Oh
you
shit.
purchase, you pay a monthly fee, and they allow you to use it. It has
So
everything you
you're
need.
putting up like curriculums and shit, or
Exactly. So I'm
okay.
doing like workout plans. I could do nutrition plans. I could assign you your macros. So like it shows you
Mm.
how many calories you should be eating, from what certain types. I could see when you do a workout if you log it. Clients could put like progress pictures in there. They could put everything, and I could set up
Oh,
programs like lower body programs. I could do athletic programs, whatever I come up with, and then
amazing.
yeah, man, it's great. It's great because it helps a lot of people. A lot of people right now got their routines kind of like disturbed by the virus because they're
They
used to
start
going to a
they're like,
gym.
where's my machine?
Exactly. And working out at home and working out in a gym is completely different. I honestly think working out at home, you kind of have to work more. Like it's harder. They're harder workouts.
Oh yeah, it's a lot harder. There's no cutting around.
Exactly.
Like,
There's no sitting down in a machine, like, on your phone. Like, I mean, you could be on your phone because you're at your house, but you're not working
yeah,
out
but it's
anymore
whack. It
at that
throws
point.
it off. It's like you just gotta trudge
Yeah,
through it.
exactly. So,
You
yeah,
know, that's
man.
have you heard of functional training?
Yeah, that's pretty much
Yeah, that's. I mean, you
what I
did say
focus.
something about functional, but yeah, I mean, dude, I'm in love with that. I've done like 3 sessions right now, and I could honestly say it's life changing, dude, because
Nice.
I suffer from like a lot of lower back, especially
Yep.
issues,
So you
and
gotta build your core, right?
yeah,
That's
dude,
what they have you
and I've
doing.
always heard that, and there's like exercises and whatnot that I do to kind of keep it conditioned, but
Hmm.
with 3 sessions of that, it was kind of like one of those like miracle things, like
Yeah.
acupuncture is another one of
Yeah.
those. Just
Okay. I actually saw that you posted about it. So functional fitness is like a company or like a training facility.
no, no, no. So don't quote me on this, but I'm
Okay.
pretty sure it's called functional patterns or
Okay. Okay.
yeah, functional patterns. That's what it is.
Got it.
And so my boy Chad, I don't know if you know him, Chad Barnes.
No.
He went to Cyprus too. He graduated like a couple years before me at least.
Hmm.
But anyways, he trains at this place called fuck, dude, B some shit Bumblebee or some shit like
Okay.
that. And it's right off here, right off Pines, dude. And it's like a very
Nice.
small kind of CrossFit gym. So he does the private sessions there.
Nice.
Cause
And are you still doing the sessions online or on your own?
yeah, so he's doing a couple like through Zoom, or the other day we met up at the park over
Okay.
here, kept our 6 feet and whatnot. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, like you said, it just disturbs everything, bro. It throws it off. Like I don't like
Exactly.
doing that shit through fucking Zoom.
Right.
Like I'm a very, when it comes to like workouts and shit,
Yeah.
yo soy como muy desorientado, bro. Like
Got
I
it.
need like
You need
trainer
more
to be like,
attention, more details.
like for real, like touch me and shit and be like, nah, do this. Pause, but you feel me?
Chill,
Like,
dude.
yo, do
I know
this
it's your
shit.
birthday and all, bro, but chill.
So yeah, man.
That's dope. But yeah.
But yeah. Besides that, just been running.
Nice, nice. So let me introduce you real quick. I'm out here with the man, the myth, the legend, Papi Goyo. I got him to
What
do
up?
this.
What
Thank
up?
you so much, man. Appreciate you,
Nah,
man.
thank
How's
you,
everything
man.
going, brother? How's everything been for you?
Everything's good. Everything's good. Thank God. Just taking advantage of the different opportunities that the
Hmm.
moment poses. Trying to stay creative, stay focused, and stay positive. But yeah, man. How
Nice.
about you, my brother?
Good, man. Good, man. I just want to get your thoughts on, music, you as an artist, a little bit about your story too. And I guess I'll start off with, what got you into music? Is it something you always been in? Does it run in your family? How did you get into music?
That's a good question. I mean, for me, it was like music and art in general. If you would have known me when I was like say in elementary school, like no one would have saw this coming, you know what I
Right.
mean? Because my parents are not like specific, like they were never into some underground shit, Yeah, they listen to a lot of music and like some really
Yeah.
cool stuff. But if you really look back at it, it's like all the, popular stuff back in their day.
Right. Right.
And so they didn't really have like too much of a strong opinion or much less rhythm. I would say I
Hmm.
never saw them pick up an instrument.
True.
And in school, I was part of like the band and shit because in Guatemala it was like it was mandatory. Everyone
Oh,
had
really?
to play an instrument. Yeah, and there was like a yearly show and everybody and
Nice.
shit. So I played the violin, bro, and I was so bad at the fucking violin that at one point, in like the yearly show, they taped my strings to like they taped my strings so that I could still be in the video, but like
God.
they wouldn't sound. You know what I mean? So I was just
Did
like,
you
damn,
know?
like
Did
oh.
you know they taped it?
Yeah, yeah, I
Oh.
knew. They were like, "Yo, listen, man, like you haven't put the work in, like you haven't,
You gotta put the
you
word.
don't know the song and shit." I was like, well, "Whatever, like I'm gonna just go crazy on the video, So on the video, I'm like going
You're shredding
insane.
it.
My parents are so proud that my parents didn't know. That's who didn't know.
Oh,
So they were
okay.
like, "Ah, hijo." But so yeah, man. And then I kind of like rap fell in my lap in a
Hmm.
sense, and the first rapper I ever heard was Eminem,
Of course.
and I didn't like it. At
You
first I
didn't
was
like
like, "Oh."
Eminem?
It was like my first rap ever. Before
Mm.
that, I just listened to like salsa and
Really?
and and reggae and shit. So
Hmm.
I was like, I would hate on it, bro. My cousins would be like,
Really?
"Yeah, that Eminem record is crazy." I was like, "Bro, like, why do you guys listen to that? Like, that shit is so like disturbing, like
Hmm.
savage. Like, it's not a vibe. Like, I don't know what you guys are
Música del
listening to."
diablo.
Yeah, literally. Like, I was just like, "Yo, like, I can't relate to that stuff. Like,
Devil
it's
music,
just
man.
too grungy." Like, I'm in the
But
tropics
bro,
and
at the same time, Eminem when he came out was a savage, bro. Nobody ever
yeah, it was pretty much
sounded like Eminem.
unprecedented. I
Yeah,
mean, it was just so crazy. And the
yeah,
fact that he was like, obviously in a black space and kind of like
yeah.
the first
Yep.
person to break through that was such like
A
a
culture shock.
personality like
Yeah,
that. But but yeah, then it kind of started like Ti was my
Ti.
first
Bro, he's
favorite
very
rapper.
underrated, man. I think Ti as
Dude,
an artist
I'm
so
glad
underrated.
dude, I'm glad you're with me on that because
That's
motherfuckers just don't
yeah,
know
yeah. A
clearly.
paper trail, bro. That shit goes way too hard.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's kind of like around the time when I started. I mean, I started listening to him in King, but
Hmm.
then I backtracked.
Yeah, yeah.
My favorite Ti albums are definitely like the first three.
Mhm.
I'm Serious, Trap Music, and Urban Legend.
Urban
And
Legend. That one was crazy.
bro, crazy. And
Crazy.
that's when I was like, okay, it blew my mind away. Like the
Yeah.
storytelling, the amount of heart that he put into it, just like the tropical sound of
Hmm.
the beat, the Neptune's production, and all that. It was like
Yeah.
my mind, and and that's when I was like, okay, I like rap. And at that point, since like I was able to get my foot in the door, it's kind of like I went back and I listened to Eminem, and I was like, oh, okay, this
Okay,
shit is
now I get
legit.
it.
I
Yeah.
was like, oh, this is hard, bro. This is hard body.
Yeah.
And then I started, just kind of listening to
Of course.
everything that everyone else was listening to, like
Yeah. Of
G
course.
Unit, 50
Yeah.
Cent,
G
Snoop,
Unit. Yeah.
and
The first rapper that I gravitated towards was Ludacris when he first came out, like with
ooh,
Rollout. Bro, I'd wake
yeah,
up early as fuck. I'd wake up super early, put on MTV, it'd be like 7:30 a.m. and they always put the Yo MTV raps or whatever, the countdowns.
yeah.
I saw that. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. This is a crazy video, first of all, because Ludacris's videos are always crazy. And
Wild, bro. He was wilding out on there, you
and
know.
as a rapper, he's the one that I always fucked with very heavy, very heavy.
Yeah, nah, he was that. So it was so fun, you know what I mean. It was an era where it was like,
Yeah, two
even,
thousands.
now I feel like it's easier to kind of hate on like mainstream rap. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like now it's like, oh no, I don't really listen to too much of that, blah blah. But back then,
it's the same
mainstream
thing.
rap, that was mainstream rap. It was fire, you know. Like it was
Yeah,
kind of like,
yeah,
damn,
I
bro,
know
this
what you
is
mean.
popping as it is.
Yeah,
Wheezy, whatnot. Um, but yeah, bro, like I never fell in love with like the lifestyle of like,
right.
I can't remember a moment where I was looking back like, oh shit, that would be really fucking cool, bro, if I was like able to do, have these cars and
Cars
make
in the
these
mansion.
videos. It didn't really, there wasn't a thought that went through my head. So eventually it was so natural for me, bro. Like eventually I just kind of wanted to see, I think I found a beat like the first,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when it kind of clicked to me. Like it was an open beat and I was like, oh damn, like ain't got no lyrics on it. Like
You're
let me
saying I could do
let me
something
see.
with this?
Yeah, I was like, let me see what I could do, and I would copy people's flow, bro. When I
How old were
started,
you?
because um I want to say at this point I was like 13 probably.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, like 13. And that's when I started like, literally copying people's flow with my own lyrics. Like,
Mm-hmm.
cause I wasn't thinking about, oh, I'm a rapper, this is my rap name. Nah, I was just
Yeah.
like, let me see if I could do this like he does
Yeah.
it with my own lyrics. And eventually, dude, it just came to the point where I would make myself laugh enough
Mm-hmm.
to, to the point where I was like, okay, I will feel comfortable sharing it with,
Yeah.
so and so.
So you would make them funny, or you would just say clever stuff that would make you laugh, and you're like, okay, this is not bad.
Right, like that, like the
Okay.
second one. Not necessarily like satirical rap or funny, but just
Yeah.
like a bar that would be like, oh damn, that's secretly like industry standard. Like
That's industry standards. At 13, bro. Be ready for the big
it's like
league.
damn, like I
Love it.
think I think people would enjoy that. So
Nice.
then, slowly it was like, all right. So I started showing my friends, and obviously back then, whatever I was doing was complete asshole, but I
Yeah.
wasn't I wasn't thinking of it as a career whatsoever. Like
Mm-hmm.
I did go to college and whatnot, and I studied business, and I didn't really take it too seriously
Yeah.
while I was going there. Like like I was like, okay, I'm gonna study business. I'm gonna probably end up working some business, but like
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. But the meantime, I'm just rapping
Rapping.
without a plan. I'm just like da
Just
da
doing
da,
it.
spending all my time smoking blunts and rapping, and I'm just like, dude, what the fuck? And eventually, it was like, oh, okay, wait, like I put so much time into this that it's like you reach checkpoint number one, and
Mm.
it's like, all right, you could
Got a
either
foundation.
save the game and quit right now, or
Okay. Or go
lose
all in.
lose all the progress. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
So it was like, damn, I
So
don't
how old
know
were you
what.
when you made that turning point when you're like, okay, I'm gonna commit. This is what, college,
It
or was it
took a
like high school?
while, man, because there was like, I guess that was like the big turning point, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was like, I want to say when I graduated college. When I graduated, and I was kind of like
What
applying for
now?
this job to sell software, bro, and it was like a fire job, dude. Like
Oh yeah,
like I would be sitting on a lot more than I'm
yeah,
sitting on right now if I would have took that job.
yeah,
And one thing after the other happened, and I didn't end up getting it.
yeah,
So that was kind of like the moment that pushed me over the edge, and I was like, dude, like literally, I was such a perfect fit for that job in terms of like
yeah,
my qualifications. This is God working in disguise,
yeah, yeah.
and like I have to, I put all my work in doing this, like da da da. So that was the first one where I actually, but before I even made that decision, which is important to say, is I already had recorded a full mixtape,
Okay.
which was my first mixtape, called Mundo, and I recorded that
What
my
was it
my
called?
senior year. Huh?
What's it called? The
It's
mixtape?
called Macondo.
Macondo.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And that one's not out. That was in the archives.
No, that one is on. It's on SoundCloud, bro.
SoundCloud,
It's
okay.
yeah. That
Uh,
one was like, I ripped the majority of the beats or
yeah.
whatnot. I had like 3 friends that gave me a beat, but I
Hmm.
didn't even like I said. I was just
Yeah.
pretty much no plan. But I recorded it in the studio, bro. Like I
Oh, it
went
was
to the
legit.
studio, paid this homie $20 an hour, and it was like I didn't even know. That was like taking it from a USB mic to
Oh, nice.
something. I didn't know how to even tell the engineer like, okay,
Turn it
like
up. Turn it down a little
turn
bit.
it up or I'm done. Let me lay the dub. Like I didn't know any
Let
of
me
that
lay the
language.
dub.
I was literally just like, oh, what do I do? Like I just rap
Yeah.
and he's gonna know like what's up.
He's gonna know.
So, but I was proud of that. And then like I put that out still kind of without a plan. To me it was
Hmm.
like I don't know what I was thinking, bro. Like fantasy land. Like oh yeah, let me just
Get
everyone is
discovered.
gonna be so excited about this. Like let
Yeah.
me just boom put it out
Hmm.
and within my friends and it's still like that it's still very
Right.
much within my friends but after I put that out was the turning point where it
Nice.
was like I had already created the music so I
Hmm.
didn't think of it as like oh this is a good business opportunity let me make some music it was
Yeah.
like already organic I had the music just because I love to make it and
Right.
then
What you did.
hmm?
Because it was what you did. You just
Yeah,
made
yeah,
music and you put it out. That's it.
exactly. So then I just kind of still like toyed with it, man. I got out of college and I had a couple of these jobs, like
Hmm.
so working for fucking ADP, bro, selling payroll.
Hmm.
I was selling liquor. I was like a liquor salesman,
Oh
which
yeah.
was extremely fun. But at the end of the day, it was like distracting, and I always
Right.
justified it like, nah, like I need to get some money. Meanwhile, the music shit pops off, which
Hmm.
is right,
Right.
and I need to support it and da da da. But at the end of the day, it was like splitting my personality almost. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like that
No.
feeling when it's like you're at your one job, but you're thinking about the other shit
Yeah.
that's just so relevant and
Right. Your heart's not in it.
so not, yeah, you're at all. It's just like, damn, dude. So, um, I've made a lot of points in between, but I feel like now after this liquor job is when I finally just said like, yo, I don't mind being a starving artist, if that's what you want to call it, like
Hmm.
for the time being, as long as I could invest my raw currency, which is time,
Right.
wholeheartedly into my craft.
Yep.
Because if you think about it, like in terms of production, time is like the raw product, and then time gets converted into money. So
Hmm.
that's why time is money,
Yep.
and that's the best thing you could do to put into your craft. But it's also
Yep.
not just like, oh yeah, I'm putting in the time, check that box off.
Mm.
It's about being like hitting
A
every
lot.
point, being effective, make sure you're not wasting it too. So
Yeah. Yeah, because as an artist, bro, you gotta. It's like any business, bro. Your product is the music, right? But
yeah,
once you have the product, you gotta be able to market it, let people know who you are, what you're about, and that takes time, bro. Doing posts, doing videos, like coming up with ideas, it takes time, and for one person, it's hard to do. That's why all these, every artist has a whole team, to do all these things because it's a lot that goes into it, and at the same time, you still have to be creative and make good music.
right. It's a lot, man. And like I said, when I was younger, it was kind of like the fantasy land, like
Hmm.
oh yeah, you could, get paid to rap. And like a big example for me, I think for everybody in our generation, Wiz, right? For for good and bad, you know what I mean? He was the first one to do like those vlogs, the day-to-days that were so personal that
Who?
it
Wiz
would kind of,
Khalifa?
yeah.
Yeah.
So you would kind of, I'm
Hmm.
sure they didn't record any of the frustrating moments. That's the thing, right? Because
Right.
you see it and you're just like, oh damn, like these dudes is on tour with all their friends, living, smoking weed,
Smokes
getting
pounds of weed.
yeah, like this is amazing,
This is me right
and
here.
that kind of provided a blueprint for it's like, all right, number one, you're not Wiz,
Right.
you shouldn't be smoking that much, you know what I mean? It's probably
Straight
getting
up.
in the way. Like straight, and it took me a while to figure that out, and number two, it's
Wiz
like,
smokes a lot, so I'm gonna smoke a lot, and I'll
yeah,
get
it's like,
successful.
dude, the more he smokes, the more money this make.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So, yeah, so that was number one, and then number two, it's like, dude, it's literally there's a lot of tired moments that goes on behind the scenes, and
Yeah.
when people say like to be your own entrepreneur in general, including a musician, you got to go overtime.
Yeah.
and that's just the way it is, man.
Yeah.
It's like you really got to go hard, and creativity is a hard horse to harness.
Yeah.
You know
Good
what
way
I
to put
mean?
it.
It's kind of like
Because it
it
is a force.
runs all over the field, and you just like, fuck, man. How could I put this into somehow like a time frame or something that I could organize myself with? And
Yeah.
it's so true, man. I mean, it's so hard to kind of streamline your creativity. There's
Yeah.
certain things that you do and you figure out along the way, but it's hard
It
to
is.
treat it like a business, that side of it, like
Mm-hmm.
as rigidly as the other parts of the business.
Right. Right. And talk to me a little bit about your influence. So who did you listen to that you could say has pieces of your music and your style of music?
Um, yeah,
'Cause-
man. I mean, it's kind of all across the board.
Yeah.
Like one thing about me that I kind of take pride in, and shit, I'm sure probably a lot of rappers say that, is I don't really feel like you could hear me in general and kind of be
Yeah.
like, oh, it sounds like him, or it sounds like I think it's pretty unique for the
Yeah.
most part. There might be like one or two songs where oh, he caught that flow, or with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, I think influence is very much like a subconscious
Mm-hmm.
uh phenomenon. You know what I mean?
Right.
So for me is like, yeah, Ti was the first one because he introduced the tropical and heartfelt aspect of hip hop to me. Like the way he
Mm.
told stories and mentioned his family and all of
Yeah.
his music, and like was so like passionate and zealous. I was like, oh, this is dope. This dude is heavy hearted, and that's
Mm-hmm.
just like me. So and then the tropical like sounding shit, it was, in the in the
Yeah.
in the humidity of Guatemala, it was so dense that I was like, oof, like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Then I would say like, all right, Eminem, to some degree was like, okay, I can't relate to this dude at all
Mm-hmm.
whatsoever, but he's got white skin, so
He's
this is
got white skin.
yeah, so this is a possibility, like this is a
Yeah. That's
possibility.
funny.
So it wasn't too much of like an influence, but it influenced my train of
Right.
thought.
Right.
And then besides that, man, like that whole kind of era of like mixtapes, that was when I was like a real like hip hop head, like everything like Wiz and
Yeah.
Currency and Mac too, um, Action Bronson, dude, all of those people that were like just dropping hot ass tapes. I
Yeah.
mean, I can name so many, but
Yeah.
that was like a big part of the influence. And then now it's like after I kind of went through that, I started really digging deep back in the crates. So like my favorite hip hop is like real kind of gore and underground
Yeah.
New York shit.
I
So
think
it's
that I hear in your music. That East
yeah,
Coast like swag, 1,000%, bro. And what's
yeah,
dope
yeah.
about it too is that when you rap in Spanish, you're bringing an East Coast vibe in Spanish rap, which is something I'd never heard before.
Damn, that's dope. That's dope.
So that's
Yeah,
one of the
no,
reasons why I fuck with your music heavy,
thank
bro.
you. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. But yeah, so like the East Coast shit was just kind of like is what I feel the most,
Hmm.
and it's mostly gangster ass shit, so I can't relate to it. But
Yeah.
I think music is about taking two people that come from completely different corners of the world and just picking apart the different jewels of relatable human elements. And it's like, I think that's the beautiful part. It's like,
No.
dude, even though we didn't have even close to the same upbringing, like we're both human, and I connected to that.
Right. Because there's still little things you could relate with, even if a person is
Right. A lot
older
of
or from another time or.
a lot of things, and that's the
Mhm.
beautiful thing about it. That allows you to kind of understand other cultures too and bridge that gap, bro. I think that's like kind of underrated conversation in hip hop is like, I mean, the racial gap that it bridges, dude.
Yeah.
Like fuck, dude. There's so much fucked up shit that's happening in this country that it's like,
In the
I
world.
feel like you needed kind of a
Hmm.
vehicle like this for, to just feel together and bring unity. And I think that's exactly what it's done. And I didn't live in any of those eras, but
Yeah.
shit, fucking, I'm so glad that this is the way it is now. In that
Yeah.
aspect, it's
Yeah.
like,
Like you listen to some Tupac now, and you're like, damn, dude, what was happening, bro? Like, what could have been
right,
happening around his neighborhood to make him rap like this? Like,
right, and us giving, like, listening to Tupac or any music, it gives us such a personal insight to it that it
mm-hmm.
gives you that perspective that 40 years ago no one had except the people that were living in those circumstances.
Exactly.
So it's so easy to just be like, oh, write them, oh, this is thugs, like these
Mm-hmm.
are fucking scum of the earth. Like, you will never hear that now because there's just that personal human connection that ties people from all over the world together, and that's beautiful about hip hop.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. And then about the influences, like, so curiously enough, I didn't really listen to hip hop in Spanish too much,
Mm.
because like in Guatemala, dude, fuck. I mean, there was no examples,
Yeah.
nothing of a local scene popping off. It's not like Venezuela that is pretty well off, or Argentina. Like,
Yeah.
there was nothing, bro. So everything was just listening to American hip hop, American hip
Oh,
hop.
really?
Yeah, and it wasn't until literally, bro, like 2 years ago, 2.5 or 3 at this point, where I really opened that door to Spanish hip hop, bro. And that's when, like, that side was unleashed,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh, that was the other turning point where it was like, oh my god, like, bro, why the fuck haven't I been rapping in
Yeah.
Spanish too? Like, this is so stupid. Like,
Yeah.
and it's still, to be frank with you, like a skill that I'm kind of like honing and
mm-hmm.
polishing as much, because if you think about it, my English flow, whether I knew it or not, I've been working on it since I was 13. You know what
True.
I mean? Like, everything was in English, writing, writing,
Mm-hmm.
writing. Even though obviously I'm speaking Spanish with my friends at the crib.
Right.
And then with the Spanish, bro, I didn't start until I was, I'm 25 now, so until I was like 20, 22, 23, bro. So,
Wow.
like, I don't
Damn.
really be going off the top in Spanish and shit. Like,
Oh no.
nah, select time, select time.
Select times depends how
Depends on
many
what we're
drinks
serving
you've
on
had.
the, yeah, depends on that and
So,
what kind of drinks, and
yeah, I think my
so
brother's going through that right now. I think he's starting to do more music in Spanish,
yeah, dude.
realizing it.
I heard a clip that he posted.
Yeah.
I'm super hyped to hear that. I
Yeah.
mean, we gotta take advantage of that, man. We're such a fast growing
Yeah.
population of Latinos in the United States that it's like, why hasn't there been that representation? I
Exactly.
mean, you're starting to see it in other genres, right?
You're starting to
Urban,
see it's coming out actually a lot, bro, with Karol G and Nicki
yeah,
Minaj. The
or shit. It
whole
already came. You could say, it's like,
it's here, yeah. J Balvin's
it,
Black Eyed Peas.
it's popping off, and it's just a matter of time before, like, obviously it's going to be a smaller market, but people are going to want to hear those bars
Yeah.
in both languages. Like,
I think it's a huge market actually, bro.
yeah, I
Because a lot
mean,
of times, even in English, you don't understand every single word in a song, but you like the way it sounds. You know the chorus is dope, and you can have a good time with, right? So if you're able to target two different audiences that maybe just speak English and that maybe just speak Spanish, they're gonna relate to the Spanish, but the English is gonna sound dope too because you already vibe with the song. So I think there's actually
right, right.
a huge market
and
for it.
and again, that's another example of, like, it's not all just, a fairyland with roses, because I always thought that too, like, oh, two markets, like, how could I lose?
Right.
But obviously that has its obstacles, especially when you have, like, limited resources and
Yeah.
budget. Then you're faced with the decision, like, oh damn, I gotta split my
Mm-hmm.
resources and literally every decision it makes. Like, when I'm making a cooking video, like, do I speak in English or
English
Spanish?
is
I'm not gonna
I see.
fucking do Spanglish, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, any post on
Yeah.
Instagram, like, I gotta write in both languages. I
Yeah.
gotta think about, oh, when this person first hears my song, like, what if they hear English but they're here for the
Mm-hmm.
Spanish, and then they dip, like,
They did. Okay.
so. But I think it's a path that's longer,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, when you get to the top, it's gonna be more rewarding because
Yep.
you
I
see the
agree.
benefits then.
So
But
wait, Papi Goyo cooks. Talk about that. You be in the
oh,
kitchen whipping it, bro.
come on, bro, don't play with me, dog. Once this Rona is over, we're gonna get to it. But yeah, bro, I fucking, that's
What's your
that's
go-to
my.
dish when you just Wiz Khalifa it and you're hungry? What's your go-to dish?
Nah, I can't have a go-to
You don't have
dish.
a go-to?
Mm, Nah, I can't say I have a go-to because that's like, I don't know. It takes away from the spontaneous factor of it. Like
So you just use what you got and you make something new.
yeah, man. I mean, I guess if it's something like improvised, like a easy thing to kind of like put a lot of everything that tastes good is pasta, which I think is pretty
Okay.
commonplace. It's just like, oh,
Yeah.
easy to whip up, unumdanga, whatever you got in the fridge, and put the ingredients to work.
That's
But
dope.
I like grilling. Like that's
Okay.
my preferred live fire grilling, like no electric shit
Yeah.
ever.
Oh, that's dope.
Coals and we put some mean steaks and create some dope recipes. Like last night I made a short rib pad thai
Damn, son.
smoked. So yeah, there's an episode coming on that. So that shit was dank, and I make them weed infused too. So
Oh,
like the
really?
oils that I use for cooking, well,
Damn.
not always, not
This
every
guy's
meal,
legit out here.
but yeah, we be making some Rasta pastas.
Some Rasta pasta. Sounds
Yeah,
good, bro. So then your first Spotify track or project, was it Guatemala Baby? Or did you do one
yeah, that
before
was
that?
Guatemala baby. So that was another turning point. That was when I was like, okay, actually, like the mixtape days are over. My
Mm-hmm.
shit is not gonna blow up on that piff, or maybe probably not SoundCloud too, because I'm not making like SoundCloud friendly rhymes. Like my shit
Mm-hmm.
is kind of more like old school. So I gotta put this shit up on Spotify and all
Yeah.
the platforms, and it was pretty easy, bro. Like I was surprised how easy that shit was.
Yeah.
I always saw it as like this like big step, but in reality it's
It's just
even
making an
easier
account.
than uploading that shit to SoundCloud to be real.
Yeah.
Like the only thing is obviously you gotta have the rights to the music, which is something that I still struggle with.
Oh, I see.
I wish I had producers sending
Mm-hmm.
me folders, you know what I mean? But I'm
Oh,
just
dude.
not at that point right now.
So what do you do now? You go on YouTube, you hit up the guy. How much is it?
Yeah, bro. I mean, I have like a solid, 3 or 4 guys that make beats that
Okay.
like personal connections of mine that
Okay.
always, whatever I'm doing, they toss me a little something. In this upcoming project, for example, like the custom production like that probably accounts for like 30% of the project,
Oh,
40. And then the other 60 is like, yeah, dude, basically people that I found through YouTube, Beat Stars. And I always like to like kind of develop relationships with people.
right.
Like, I
The
don't.
producers.
It sounds like wow, what a great feat, but I don't really like to like hop on the first YouTube beat I hear now. It's more so like I do a producer base. Like I'm like,
Oh,
okay, I
I
like
see.
this producer, and then yeah, I might like a beat they already made, or I might be like, yo, I really fuck with your beats. Like, how much will you charge me for a custom one?
Oh,
But
okay.
then with a lot of those songs, the next thing is you don't know what they're sampling, bro.
Oh, I see.
Sometimes that shit.
So
So
maybe
it's
they don't
like,
own the stuff that you think it's legit.
yeah, dude. So it's so much risk going into it because it's just like, damn, dude, all these loose ends basically. Um,
Mm.
but a lot of people argue it's like, all right, just do what you got to do, get your exposure. You're
Hmm.
gonna get slapped on the wrist a couple times, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, right now, it's like we're still so small
Right.
that what I mean. But don't get me wrong, like I'm not fucking ripping beats or anything. Like I get it, mainly the exclusive ones from
Yeah.
most people. But
So what's
then
rip and beat?
again,
Just taking a beat that's not yours and just putting it out?
on like Spotify or
Okay.
Apple, yeah. You know what I mean? Like without like even hitting up the producer. And I'm not gonna lie, bro. I did that a little bit when I was younger, and then like one day I had a realization, bro. Like I took a shroom trip, and I was just listening to this beat, dude, and I was like, bro, I felt so sad, bro. I was like, bro,
Really?
this producer put like
It's
so much
harder.
time into this beat, and
Oh.
I didn't even like credit his ass, and I was like, like I hit him up. I was like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, da, da, da. He's like, it's all good. Like, he was kind of like, you know,
I'm not mad, man. I'm just
about it.
disappointed.
Yeah, literally. And I was just like, oh man, please be mad at me. Say something. He was like,
Say
nah, it's
so.
all good.
Got it.
So But
Nice.
yeah, that was cool, man, because it was like I got paid for my first time with
Oh, you
music.
did?
You know what I'm saying? It was like $200 off of streams, which is
Wait, you getting paid off Spotify?
yeah, bro. I
Oh,
mean,
my boy
shit,
Papi Goyo out here getting them Spotify checks.
bro.
What's
Imagine,
up?
dude. Like for me, like yeah, all right, $200 is
That's
fucking
awesome, bro.
peanut shit, but at the end of the day, bro, that was yet another turning point. It's like, wow, this music really came from the cloud, like, and if you reinvest it, it's something, like that's a new mic.
Yeah.
That's a mic upgrade, like, and that's how it is. It's like little by
Studio
little.
time, you know?
Yeah, dude, and that's crazy. It's like, damn, off of the small amount of numbers that I do, like, it's actually some like something. I
So
could
that's
I could take a
interesting because
fat
I
ass girl
didn't
out
know
to
that
dinner.
Spotify paid out. How does it work? Is it based on a certain amount of views, view
Ooh,
time,
bro,
followers?
it's such a fucking like complicated algorithm.
Uh,
But I would say the main differences to kind of like break it down are there's different rates, right, for each different listener. First of all, different countries have different rates. So
mm,
like let's say my listeners in the United States are more valuable than in the third world countries, which is
uh-huh.
fucking terrible. But it's related to what people pay for their membership. So
Oh, I see.
memberships are cheaper in South America than they
Got it.
are here. And then the second separation is whether they have an account or they're using the free shit with ads.
Mm,
Obviously, the free shit with the free listeners, you don't get paid as much per stream from them as you
got
do
it.
from
That's
the
very
other ones.
interesting.
But yeah, so it's pretty interesting, dude. And Apple Music too. That it's all like integrated
Okay.
into one place where you put up the music. But then Title is the interesting one, bro, because it's
Mm-hmm.
like, all right, I don't fucking know anyone that listens to music on Title, honestly.
Right.
But they pay per stream. Don't quote me on the number, but it's like something like four times more than
Wow.
Spotify or Apple. So as an artist, if you like really wanted to direct your traffic towards Title, you only have to put in 1/4 of the work to get the same monetary
Right.
result as what I mean. So it's an interesting.
Interesting. So you're on title too, or you're thinking of, or you're.
Yeah, I'm on Title. I'm on everywhere, but it's like I feel like it's almost like check the box type of thing.
You're right. Just to be safe, because you never know that it could explode, pop off later on.
Yeah, you never know, bro. I could get the Hope shout out, and then all of a sudden my title might be fucking.
Yeah, that's crazy. Nice. So you're from Guatemala, right? So you were
Sir.
born there, and how old were you when you came to the States? Do you go back? Because I know Guatemala is something that's very present in your music.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I appreciate you asking. I got the flag right
Yeah,
there.
see that. Represent.
But yeah, it's interesting, bro. So I was born and raised in Guatemala, but actually my family is not from Guatemala.
Oh, really?
So my pops, he's from Arizona, straight white guy from Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah, and he like, fell in love with Latin America and the whole shit and fell in love with my mom, and my mom is from Honduras. Um, they
Nice.
met in Miami, funny enough, and then they moved back to Guatemala just because my pops was working in at the time, and that's where I was born. When I was like 5 months old, I went to Costa Rica. Um, no, sorry, 11 months old or some shit like that. I went to Costa Rica and was there for like 5 years. My little brother was born there, and then we
Nice.
went back to Guate for like 10 years.
Okay.
So it was pretty much like my whole, until I was 15 years old, I
Okay.
lived between Costa Rica and Guate, mostly in Guate. So it was like, and I was born there too, you know what I mean? So it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like that spiritual connection
Yeah.
of my birthplace. Then we moved to Mexico for a little bit, and then back to South Florida. Yeah, dude, I try and go back. Obviously, not as much as I would like. Never
Mm-hmm.
enough time, but yeah, I mean, the last time I went was like a year and a half at this point, dude. So I definitely gotta get back on a plane as soon as possible. And
Yeah.
uh, it's such an inspiration for me to be able to like bring a light to it, because especially with artists within Guatemala, it's pretty sad, bro. It's like
Really?
almost every artist that ever made it out of Guatemala had to leave Guatemala and create a separation from themselves in Guatemala to pop, because it was like either
It's not
A
cool to be
our
from Guatemala.
yeah, it's not cool, bro. It's not cool, and I hate that because I
Hmm.
actually think it's cool as shit. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So it's like, bro, I can't fold for that shit. So that's why
Interesting.
I feel such an urgency to do that and to not only bring attention to it as being a dope place, but to actually be able to one day give back and go there and make a change and kind of shift the culture a little bit in that sense of like, yo, everyone that's here should be proud to be here because this truly is one of the best places in the world. This is
Hmm.
a huge paradise, and we treat it wrong, man. It gets the bad
Really?
rap for a good reason. It's like all a whole bunch of corruption and fucking death and murder and fucked up shit that's going on, but the country itself, the roots, the energy there is beautiful. It's
Yeah. That's amazing, bro. That's amazing. But so what you have working on next, man? You said you had a project that you've been working on. Is that released? Have you been doing singles that you already put out, or are you just gonna put out the whole project as a whole?
yeah, man. So right now I'm working on shit. I've been working on like the next full length project, which is always an interesting conversation. Now it's like just
Hmm.
do singles, 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 and I agree. Like the way that the atmosphere is set up right now, it's
Yeah.
better to do that. But at the end of the day, like the artist, so, well, little guy on my shoulder is like, nah, dude. Like I love projects.
Hmm.
So I've been kind of trying to do like a hybrid, for the past couple months. I've
Yeah.
pretty much put out a single every month. And now coming up here in May, pretty soon, I'm gonna be releasing the project. It's called Tropics Boy,
Tropics
and
boy.
yeah, so it's gonna have a two of the singles that I released previously,
Nice.
Fairy Tales, and the one that I'm releasing right now in 2 weeks called Sombrita.
Nice.
So those two are going on there, and then the rest are never
Nice.
before heard tracks.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, because I see what you're saying with the whole singles and like big projects. Like I like the way that J Balvin did his recent album. It was
genius.
it was such a genius the whole way through. He dropped Blanco like what, a year ago or some shit like that,
A
maybe
while
more.
ago.
And then he dropped the thing Morado like 6 months ago, and you don't know if it's an album. You don't know if it's
Yeah,
whatever.
you're like, what the
You
fuck?
think I thought they were just singles, and then he drops the whole thing what in the beginning of the quarantine. I think that album's a banger, and it's cool how he did it with the colors and how he set it up. Because I like it a lot. I like the whole idea, and I think
Yeah,
it's important to educate people on projects instead of just single hits. But it's hard, of course, because you really got to be into the music to have the attention span or want to listen to somebody's whole piece. You know?
right, right. And especially now, it's like, there's so much saturation, different music and stuff coming at you from all angles that you kind of have to like prioritize too.
Yeah.
And just, like as individuals living in today's age, our attention span is shorter than it
Yeah.
was 30 years ago. But yeah, another interesting one that like I really like the way she did it is Anita.
Mm,
Um, I think it was her last album. She's so hot, bro.
she's amazing.
But I think I think the last album, fuck, I think it's called Kisses or some shit like that. But she kind of like, let's say it had 10 songs. I don't remember
Hmm.
exactly how many it had. Each of the songs was like trying to present her in a different personality. Like, oh, the
Mm.
sexy Anita, oh, the angry
Oh,
Anita.
okay.
And she made like a whole like dress code, like video, like
Yeah.
vibe for each one, and then dropped it cohesively under that. So that was another one where she like at the end of the day, it was similar to the J Balvin's in the
Hmm.
sense where it was like she kind of pieced it together
Yeah.
one by one and then brought it together under one roof.
That's dope,
I,
man.
I was fucking sick.
That's awesome, bro. Well, thank you for doing this, bro. I wanted to pick your brain for a minute. I'm glad I got to do it. So when does the project come out? You said 2 weeks from now? Oh, that's the single.
No, that's the song. Sombrita comes out 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now, May 14th. Oh, let me check the calendar, bro. Don't want to be wrong about that. Um, 15th, May 15th.
May 15th.
Yeah, and then
Sombrita.
Tropics Boy will come out 2 weeks after that, approximately. But don't want to say the exact date because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not fully locked in yet. But yeah.
That's awesome. So you guys have it. Sombrita out May 15th. It's gonna be a movie.
Hey, appreciate you, bro.
Awesome,
Nah,
bro.
yeah, thank you for having me, man. This is awesome. I love the idea. Much respect to you and yours and what you're trying to put together here.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's. Oh, I gotta ask you, what do you think about Live Ultimate products?
What is that?
Live Ultimate, like some like supplement.
Oh, I don't believe in supplements, bro.
Oh, damn. Okay.
I don't
Well,
believe in supplements. I mean, I
well,
it's not that I'm against them. I just think you should just eat food, and that's really all you need.
yeah. I mean, that's true.
Unless you're like a high performance athlete, LeBron James, like that. Yeah, you should be taking supplements because you're literally your body
Yeah, it can't
is
keep up with your
exactly.
regeneration.
But if you're a regular person who just wants to be in shape and wants to look good and feel good, I believe you don't need to take supplements.
Damn. All right. Well, I'm gonna hit you up, bro. I think I need probably like a ab routine, bro, because I got the Michelin tires.
Oh.
Starting to stack up right now. The
Got you,
quarantine
bro.
missed both of us.
Sounds good, bro. Yeah, man. I got you, man. That's what I'm here for.
All right. Well.
All right, bro. So till next time, bro. We gotta do this
All
again.
right. Appreciate it, man. Take
Well,
care.